Hello and welcome to Government with Dr. Turner. Politics distributes power and resources. Different countries have different economic and political systems. The type of system they have makes a difference in how power and resources are distributed. Today, we're going to look at different political and economic systems. First, what's the difference between politics and economics? There must be some difference because we use two different words for them. For this class, we have decided that politics is who gets what, when, and how. Economics is about the production and distribution of material resources and services. When we talk about economic systems, we will be paying attention to how stuff is made, how we give it price, and how it is sold and distributed to the people. When we talk about political systems, we will be paying more attention to who has power in society and how decisions are made. Let's look at economic systems first. We'll start with capitalism because the United States is a capitalist system. In a capitalist system, all the means of production are privately owned. What are the means of production? It's all the different ways that stuff that has value gets created. How are iPhones created? In factories owned by Apple, not a government agency. How are cars built? In factories owned by auto companies, not government agencies. How is corn produced? On fields owned by farmers or agricultural companies, not government agencies. Now, the real world is a little more complicated than that, but let's keep it simple for now. We are talking about pure capitalism. In a capitalist system, the market controls economic decisions. Companies decide how many phones or cars to build or how much corn to grow based on how much they can sell. It's also how they set the price. But people like you and me make up the market. And all our decisions together tell the companies what might work. The main point is that government planners do not make those decisions. In a pure capitalist system, there is no economic role for the government. However, we will soon learn that our government is deeply involved in our economy. The United States has a system of regulated capitalism. In our economic system, individuals have a lot of economic freedom. You get to decide what you want to buy and how much you are willing to pay for it. But we count on the government to provide procedural guarantees. This means we expect the government to make sure the rules work smoothly and fairly for everyone. When you buy something in a store or order something online, you probably don't know the seller personally. So how can you trust them? How can you send them your money and hope everything works out? Because we expect our government to enforce the rules. We also expect our government to make sure the economy is running as well as possible. So we count on them to keep prices from getting too high, to avoid periods of economic downturns called recessions, and to make sure there are enough jobs for everyone who wants one. These three areas, controlling inflation, avoiding recession, and encouraging employment, help to stabilize the economy. And a stable economy means that you and I can plan for the future. We also expect our government to use our tax money to build things like schools, roads, and bridges that everyone can use. Another type of economic system is socialism. Under the economic system of socialism, economic decisions are made by politicians. Politicians try to achieve a certain outcome with their policies. They set a goal for a particular distribution of resources. These are called substantive guarantees. People in socialist economies expect their government to provide certain outcomes. For example, A country may believe that having both rich and poor, that is, an unequal distribution of wealth, is unfair. So they believe it would be better for the government or the whole society to own the means of production. If the government owns all the property, then they can hand out equal amounts to everyone. Pure socialist economies often end up with repressive political systems. This means the government forces you to act in a certain way, like giving up personal property. Let's review what we've got so far. Economic systems focus on the distribution of material goods and services. In a pure capitalist economy, the market controls economic decisions. In a pure socialist economy, politicians make economic decisions. Pure economic systems rarely, if ever, exist. Procedural guarantees assure that the rules will work smoothly and treat everyone fairly, but no specific outcomes are guaranteed. Substantive guarantees are government assurances of particular outcomes. Before we go, I'd like to mention one other system that combines elements of both socialism and capitalism. Some countries in Western Europe follow the theory of social democracy. Social democracy is a hybrid system that combines a capitalist economy and a government that supports equality. These countries are primarily capitalist, but believe the values of equality can be guaranteed by the government. Social democracy is an attempt to balance substantive guarantees and procedural guarantees, to balance fair outcomes with fair rules.